Northfield and Mahtomedi, 51 nautical miles. And despite that difference, the path seems to always converge in one spot, downtown St. Paul and Grand Casino Arena. For the first time since 2018, the Northfield Raiders traveled to the St. Croix Valley Rec Center to take on the Mahtomedi Zephyrs in a Class A Top 10 tilt. It's the Mahtomedi Zephyrs and the Northfield Raiders coming up next on Suburban Community Channel's TV 19. Hi, everybody. A very pleasant Tuesday afternoon or evening to you here from the St. Croix Valley Rec Center in St. Paul, not St. Paul, Stillwater, Minnesota. Our camera operators today are Ben Brannon and Christian Stoltzman. In the truck, we have David Schuyler, Dave Cast, and Joe Sigourney. Well, on paper, a matchup that in terms of the regular season has not been played frequently. This is the first time since 2018 that these two teams have played each other here at the St. Croix Valley Rec Center, and their first time in regular season play since 2022 in a pre-season tournament at Tria Rink in St. Paul. For both teams, it figures to be a big one. It figures to be a good one tonight. We'll get you into it as the evening progresses. It's the Zephyrs and the Raiders from Stillwater, Minnesota, and the St. Croix Valley Rec Center on a beautiful Tuesday evening in Stillwater. Puck goes back to the defensive zone. Cody Loida will pick it up, starts to break out for the Zephyrs as they go into the attacking zone. Braden First has it on the right side away. First looking for a cross. Victor Riley knocks it off of his stick out there in the corner. And the Raiders look to start their breakout back the opposite side, but denied by Cody Loida at the blue line. Turn it back over. Bridger Riley carries into the attacking zone. He'll try the left side. Pass through the slot, finds no receiver. Ashton Pumper trying to pinch down from the blue line to get to it. It's taken back over on the other side by Loida for the Zephyrs, and he'll push it back off to the far side. First able to clear the zone. Pumper gathers it back at center, trying to go D-to-D to his opposite partner on the far side, and Riley, this will go down the length of the ice, and icing is waved off. Picked up by the Zephyrs in their own defensive zone by Henry Sampere. Played his first couple of years of high school hockey for the Hill Murray Pioneers, did Sampere. He's committed to the University of Maine in Hockey East. He'll play Division I college hockey next season. Sampere looks to start the breakout for the Zephyrs. Put further ahead for Blake Loida. Pass it across the crease for Trevor Rogaszewski. A shot through on, and our first save of the game is made by Gavin Winter for the Northfield Raiders. Back as far as center. Cale Brummel picks it up there. He'll dump it into the zone, and Northfield will go back on in pursuit in the early going here. 15:30 to go in this first period. Shots on goal, 1-0 in favor of Mahtomedi, and no scoring so far. Onto the far side, Jacob Peters. Pinned into the corner board. Zephyrs try to free it out. Caden Gagnelius, a player who was on it for Mahtomedi, but couldn't quite get it free. Miles Kennelly gathers through center. He'll cut back into the neutral ice, now into the left side wing. Rings it around, looks to feed Carter Simon behind the net. Simon able to skate past the defense of Trevor Rogaszewski, and will cut back there. It's left for Michael Stewart. On the far side half wall. Can be tied up there further now for Stanford for Northfield. Is taken out of neutral ice by Mahtomedi. They'll carry it back in space. Brock Gunnerman trying a shot on goal. And a save made by Gavin Winter. And another face-off, second of the game, upcoming here. Our goaltending matchup tonight as we turn into one of the great all-time goaltenders, one of the great all-time coaches in the state of Minnesota, head coach Jeff Poschel. Surpassed 500 career wins in the 2023-24 season and continues to prove Mahtomedi a powerhouse every single year. More on the goalies coming up next. Levi Schmidt to start the breakout for Northfield. Goes back into the zone for Zach Sins. He'll pick it up into the defensive zone. Looks to restart Mahtomedi's breakout. Zephyrs are record at 5-6-2 overall this season, 1-0-2. It's very much a spot where the Zephyrs are used to being at this time of the year, but that more a testament to their schedule than their ability. That was off on the far side. Play will continue for the time being. Stick was lifted out of the hands of Henry Weber, and the Zephyrs will hold his own here. Zach Sins rifles a shot through. Now the official on the far side realizes the net is off, and will have a face-off in the Northfield defensive zone. Starting in goal, the senior Gavin Winter made 40 saves on 42 shots when he played against Mahtomedi in last year's consolation semifinal. 4 goals allowed in 2 of his last 3 appearances in net. So looking to refine that form he had at the end of last season. He did have 1 shutout against Waseca just 3 games ago for the Raiders. Shot through to the far side. Sticked aside by Ashton Pumper. Flung back through center. First was able to get to it first for the Zephyrs. Sorm will knock it down for Northfield and tries to clear the zone but can't. First with it. Shot on. Saved by Winter. Loose puck comes here to the near side for Riker Dunbar. Brings it around for Vinny Redpath. Had a natural hat trick against Orono earlier on this season. Storm tries across. Picked up at center by Redpath. Into the zone for the Zephyrs. Vinny Redpath will try to ring it around, stopping the skates of Ashton Pumper, and put behind the net for Soren. Puck battle is won by Tommy Bowe. To the blue line, another shot, and another save by Gavin Winter. And quickly, 7 shots on goal already for the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. Meanwhile, for Mahtomedi in goal, it's Jackson Chesak, the senior from Mahtomedi. Next win for him today, if it is today, will be his 10th career. He's been the goalie of record in every game for Mahtomedi. That semifinal consolation game last year against Northfield, he too was good. 46 of 50 saves for the Mahtomedi Zephyrs in the loss to Northfield at Trio Rink last season. Miles Kennelly into the zone for Northfield. Will try to drop it off. It's tied up on the near side for Desalar. Taken back over. Intercepted by Loida in the defensive zone for Mahtomedi. Blake Loida looks to go further ahead for Cody Loida into the zone. Bothered there by Schmidt. Loida will circle back in the far side corner. Dumped in low for Blake Loida. Bothered by Simon defensively for Northfield. Gilbertson first to it for the Raiders. And will clear back as far as center. Loida will pick it up there. To the near side, Desalar to the attacking zone for Gagnelius. Picks it up out of the corner. Gagnelius tries to go for the wraparound and sends it through the blue paint. Kennelly backhands it out as far as center. It's picked up by Brummel, who looks to spring Mahtomedi quickly back into the attacking zone. 12:32 to go, first period. Shots on target, 6-0 Mahtomedi. Zephyrs still pestering, looking for the first goal of the night. Zephyrs in the slot. Off the glass, Gutterman picks it up out of the corner. Shoved off the puck there by Schmidt for Northfield. And intercepted by Gutterman on the near side wall. Loose puck through the slot. Gavin Winter will hold on for another face-off. Here with 12:13 to go, first period of play. For a tenured coach as long as Jeff Poschel, there's going to be the opposite of that. Charlie Cloud is the head coach of the Northfield Raiders. He's in his first season, graduated from Northfield in 2011, from Iowa State in 2015. It's his first full-time season as varsity head coach. He spent the previous 9 as an assistant coach in Northfield, and currently he's a first officer for Sun Country Airlines, flying planes for the airlines. How about that? They'll try to keep the Raiders flying high here in their own defensive zone without a shot on goal so far. 1 second was burned off the clock as a result of the miscue. And play will continue off the face-off win. Ashton Pumper. Read as far as center. Brock Gutterman is first to it for Mahtomedi. Comes all the way back out further to neutral for Brummel, who tried to get to it. And here go the Raiders back in. Peter has Weber with him, but offside was Weber, so he has to reset. Riley goes to the far side for Pumper. Into the attacking zone, they will go. Sent to the corner by Christian Whiteman, and Brummel is first to it for Mahtomedi. Brummel off the far side end board, so tie up 4-1 player there. Peters takes it, brings it around. Weber holds his zone for Northfield and sent to the corner by Christian Whiteman. Whiteman knocked off the puck by Brummel. Back to the far side. Zephyrs clears this puck down the length of the ice, and for the first time tonight, there'll be a face-off in Mahtomedi's defensive zone with 11:26 to go in period number 1. Mahtomedi Zephyrs, the 7-0 shot on goal advantage so far. A little different from their last game against the Minnetonka Skippers out at Pagel. The first period, they were outshot 16-4 in that game. The second period, outshot 22-4. Got closer in the third, 10-9. They outshot Minnetonka. It's more testament to just how difficult this schedule is, as there was no time elapsed off the clock, so still 11:21 to go here in period number 1. No score shots on goal, 7-0. But in terms of Mahtomedi, including tonight, just 3 games the remainder of their way will be against teams that are not ranked in either Class A or Class AA. Difficult schedule for Mahtomedi. Why else wouldn't it be? Drive on net by first, saved by Winter with 11:11 left to go. Period number 1. Shots on goal are 8-0 in favor of Mahtomedi. Raiders enter this one tonight in a little bit of a winning streak. They've won 3 in a row, one of which was in overtime, 1-0 over Waseca. Then a win at Northern Lakes on December 26th. They started this 2026 portion of their schedule at 6-4. Exciting win against New Brand last time out. Only loss in the schedule so far for Northfield. Then they dropped the game to St. Cloud for Regional. If that's the only loss on your schedule for a Class A school, oh, you're doing pretty well. Walker Sorrell into the zone, dump from the corner. Zach Zins will pick it up there. Zins tries to start the breakout. He's tied from the corner. He'll have to reset. 10:50 and now 10:49 to go. First period of play. 8-0. Shots on goal in favor of Mahtomedi. Simon gathers it for Northfield. He'll dump it in. Chezik will stop it behind the net. First to get to it is Riker Dunbar. He was unable to handle it, and Benjamin had it briefly, picked it up, cleared it out as far as center. Tommy Bowe starts to re-break out. Redpath working in, shot saved by Winter off the stick of Braden first, and held on to for the face-off did Gavin Winter. 10:28 to go, first period. Shots on goal 9-1 and now in favor of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. One of the first games today that's dropping the puck all across the state of Minnesota. 40 game schedule. And this is the one we have for you here. Jordan Gagnelius on the draw. It's won by Gagnelius. A first shot on from Blake Loida was a good opportunity, but denied by the goaltender, Gavin Winter. Loida. Start the break. Henry Sampere. Bring it back off to the far side. First on the stick was Wade Gilbertson for Northfield. He's forced out by botting positioning, not of the Zephyr, but by his own man, and Michael Stewart. Shot on from Riley on a turnover. Held in by the Raiders. Schmidt with a shot on, a save made by Jackson Chezik as he holds on for a face-off. Now shots on goal 10-3 in favor of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. It's the first of two games today here at St. Croix Valley Rec Center in varsity hockey. Stillwater will be taking on an opponent. We'll announce that later. Not that game, but just who's playing, in case you're curious. Here to the near side. Zaylar turn it over. Riley picks it up for Northfield on the backhanded clearing attempt. It's taken back over by Blake Loida. Into the zone, he'll go. Dezalar is in with him. Shot on was blocked in front by Riley. Ran that position perfectly for the Raiders. Gilbertson to the blue line, but not out. Rogaszewski tees up a drive that hit nobody off the far wall. And all the way back to the blue line it goes. Cale Brummel tried to hold the zone, but turned it over. It's picked up by Stewart. Stewart lost it at neutral. Gathered there by Gilbertson and sent back in. Icing is called. 9:21 to go, first period. Shots on goal 11-3 in favor of Mahtomedi. I'm still looking for this game's first goal of the night. Now a conversation between officials as to perhaps whether or not icing was called correctly or incorrectly. Appears as though they'll be content with their call. There'll be a face-off to the left of Gavin Winter. Henry Weber on the draw. The senior is third season playing varsity hockey. Lost the face-off to the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. And Northfield unable to clear the zone. Zins teed up a drive that missed the redirection out in front. Followed up side of the net. Will Sievers fired it just wide. Gathered by Jacob Peters, who tried to clear the zone. Sent back around on the ring around by Riker Dunbar. Cleared back out. Christian Whiteman further ahead. This goes into Mahtomedi's zone. And icing is called again. 8:55 to go, first period of play. A game early on that has not had its flow develop yet. Part of that perhaps due to two teams not having played each other frequently in regular season play, but also the early start time, 5 p.m., atypical for a varsity contest during the school week, to say the very least. Northfield face-off win. Weber tried to clear it around for Stewart. It's gotten back on the near side half wall as the Zephyrs will regain possession there. Devin O'Donnell brings it back behind for Simon. Simon picks it up, flings it off the glass. Knocked down by O'Donnell there. O'Donnell goes cross crease, was looking for Blake Benz. It's picked up first in the corner by Will Sievers, taken over by the Raiders. Whiteman looks to bring Peters further ahead, but the pass is long, and icing is called. You can see the ideas, you can see what Northfield is trying to spring, how they're trying to get that strategy going, but so far hasn't quite worked their way. Well, Jeff Poschel watching on. It's 29th year as head coach of Mahtomedi. Face-off won by Northfield. Redpath takes it over into the corner. They'll fight for it. Redpath has his skate into the boards. Riley is trying to pin him there. Players that are fighting for it. Oliver Benjamin looking for it. Goes back into the slot. Walker Sorum takes it back here to the near side. Philip Benjamin trying to clear back out as far as center. Was able to do so. Left for Charlie Becker. Becker into the zone now for Oliver Benjamin. Spinning. Riley a shot in and out of the glove. And another chance from the near side. Unable to get finished off on by Benjamin as Chesak made a great first save. First. Goes back for Samper. Into the zone for Will Severs. Severs trying to feather a pass through. That's gathered up by Benjamin. Clear back as far as center. Cody Loida gathers, sends it in on goal towards Winter. Winter will drop it and allows defense to start the play. Sorum. Long saucer pass. Looking for Philip Benjamin. Not handled cleanly. Vinny Redpath takes over from Mahtomedi. Redpath is shot and a save made by Gavin Winter. He holds on for another faceoff. Here with 7:23 to go, first period of play. Best chance of the night for Northfield. Great entry into the zone, good passes, but that last shot just not quite where they intended it to be, just a little off line. That chance really not necessarily the story of the game so far. A lot of this game has been spent in the Mahtomedi attacking zone. Stewart got a pass right back from Gilbertson, dropped it off, blocked shot, well done by Trevor Rogoszewski. And Schmidt holds it in for Northfield at the zone. Kennelly teed up a drive, save made by Jackson Chesak. And he'll hold on for a face-off with 6:59 to go in period number 1. Talked about the Zephyrs' schedule so far this year. If you look at the schedule, who they've played, independent of the Metro East teams, you look more so at how they started. They started 2 games, both played at Centennial and their home rink to begin the season, but both good results. A 6-3 win against Centennial on their home ice, no less. An overtime loss to Blaine. Not a bad place to start the season, but then you follow that up with a tie against Hill Murray here at the St. Croix Valley Rec Center. That's just the kind of schedule Mahtomedi has. Stewart into the zone. He dropped it off for Wade Gilbertson. Gilbertson has his stick tied up by Blake Loida. And the loose puck is taken advantage of. Shot in right back, and another shot on the far side from Chesak. As into the zone went 2 players, Kennelly and Simon. And both were selfless, and maybe one of the 2 should have taken the shot. Chesak back behind. He left it there for a teammate. First player to it is Christian Whiteman for Northfield. Whiteman is tied up. Gagnelius and Dunbar on pressure. Creates separation for Zach Zins to start the breakout for Mahtomedi. Further ahead for Gagnelius. Lost the handle into the zone. Back this puck will go as Walker Sorum will take it. Connor Simon looks to make the play for Northfield. Peters with it now. Across the blue line, but offsides is called. And a face-off at neutral ice with 5:54 to go, period number 1. Another really good look. First, the separation that was created off of the turnover. Kennelly, that give and go with Stewart. Both players had a chance to shoot. Both choose to be unselfish in that situation. I'm sure that Coach Charlie Cloud likes that, but would prefer the puck in the back of the net. Peters fired a drive. Sorum picks it up there. Another shot. He scores! Rifle from the blue line. Walker Sorum, the junior, picks up his second. He's got points in 3 straight, and Northfield surprisingly takes a 1-0 lead. A sound that stopped almost the entire barn. That shot from Sorum didn't appear to be redirected. Maybe a good screen out in front, but either way, Walker Sorum gets his second goal of the year, his 6th point, and Northfield has a lead. Tommy Bowe into the zone, looking to equalize for Mahtomedi. Bowe will wrap. Samper at the blue line, blocked well. Perfect positioning by Philip Benjamin. Out of the corner, it's taken there. First goes to the Samper, a shot through. Brings all the way back to the near side and as far back out as center. Henry Samper looking to circle. Sent back in, but this time it's into the pip end here at St. Croix Valley Rec Center. Hits something. And it'll be another face-off that will result. Walker Sorum officially given the goal. Northfield, when they score first this season, they are perfect 6-0-0. Mahtomedi, when conceding the first goal, 1-4-1. Are they stats? Yes. The impact, what's happening today? No. Will they help paint the picture? Absolutely. Desalar sprung a pass for Gagnelius, but offsides will be called as soon as Gagnelius touches it, and he will. And it's wild. I think that if you were to take this from a neutral perspective, and if you were to look at the first, at this point, 10 minutes of this game, with the choppiness that Northfield had to begin it, how unrefined those passes were, as there's another puck into the netting and another face-off here in the passing moments, 4:31 to go. But if you would have seen that first 10 minutes, you wouldn't figure that Northfield would be the team on the scoreboard first. Nonetheless, they are. And it's Walker Sorum who was able to put them on the board. Face-off win by Gagnelius. We'll send it into the zone. Winter stops it behind for Northfield. Pushed around by Pumper, held in, and a shot through off the stick of Cale Brummel. Finds its way back to the near side half wall. Another puck into the netting, and another face-off with 4:16 to go. And the longer this game goes, the more likely I thought it was going to be that we would have some sort of a rhythm, some sort of a flow to this game, but it's a game at this point now, 12 minutes and 44 seconds gone into it, that there just hasn't been any rhythm so far. Gagnelius for Brummel, sent around off the end boards. Loida has his pocket pick. Raiders starting the breakout for Stewart. And sent into the zone. Brummel first to it for Mahtomedi. Simon gathers and dumps it back in. Taken by Trevor Rogaszewski. Rogaszewski gains a blue line. He dumps it in. Zephyrs will change their lines back behind. Ashton Pumper further ahead for Peters. Peters teed up a drive and steered to the corner by Chesak. Whiteman will hold it in. Play set back behind. Brummel's able to get to it into the corner. Rung back off to that far side for Will Sievers. And almost cleared out by Mahtomedi, but held in by Northfield. Gutterman will get to it now. Mahtomedi clears it there. On the right side for Sievers down into the Northfield end. 3:18 to go, first period. Still 1-0 in favor of Northfield. Shots now 14-8 in favor of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. Gavin Winter has stopped all 14 so far. A turnover. Devin O'Donnell puts it down and low. A shot through and another save from a sharp angle off of Brock Gutterman's stick by Gavin Winter. Christian Whiteman brings it around for Jacob Peters. Peters tries to start the breakout. Got as far as center. Weber with a backhanded clearance off the skate of Dunbar and picked back over by Whiteman. Weber a shot. Saved by Chesak. He steers it to the corner. Weber gathers. Zephyrs look to start the breakout. Brock Gutterman to the red line. Gutterman looking to move with it. Gathers, works his way to the slot. A shot through, saved by Winter. As Braden First fired a rifle just at the top of the dime. Oliver Benjamin takes it over. Benjamin, quick further ahead, was looking for Simon, gathered instead by Henry Sampere. Off far side, the red pad lost the handle into the zone. It's gathered back up by Northfield and Charlie Becker. Schmidt behind the net, he'll take it there. Schmidt to the half wall. Chipped out by Benjamin, looking for his opposite number, and Oliver Benjamin. And this one will go out of play in a face-off here at neutral ice. 2:03 to go in period number 1. First matchup between these two teams at St. Croix Valley Rec Center since December 22nd of 2018. Zephyrs won that one by a final score of 7-1. Many of the student athletes who competed in that game have since moved on, not just to college, but have graduated since. It's been quite some time since any Raiders play here, at least against Mahtomedi. Schmidt into the zone from the slot, shot on, save Chesak. And he'll hold on for a face-off in Mahtomedi's end with 1:45 to go in period number 1. Goal differential for each of these teams fairly even. So far this season, Northfield has scored 7, they've conceded 7. Mahtomedi has scored 12, they've conceded 10. It's pretty even in terms of the plus-minus over the course of that period. Another shot through, run around to the near side, and all the way back as far as center. Kennelly drops it back to the blue line, and Ashley Pumper across the red, and now the attacking zone blue. It's knocked off of a stick and finds a home into the corner. Run by Gagnelis. Picked up there by Rogaszewski. Rogaszewski couldn't clear it, sends it back now for Cale Brummel, trying the other side. Brummel gathers possession, gathers ahead of steam, and Brummel 2-on-2 tries to get around one. Back to the far side. It's held in there by Bridger Riley from Northfield. Now taken back over by Gagnelis. Gagnelis tries to backhand. Picked up by Desalar. For Mahtomedi as he'll circle. Push down below. Blake Loida on the give and go. Back as far as center. Held in beautifully by Cale Brummel. Brummel's shot blocked out in front by Stewart. And here goes Northfield 2-on-2. Stewart dropped for Kennelly. Kennelly creates some space. Had a shot that was blocked by Brummel. And another one on the far side. Off the stick of Christian Whiteman into the glove of Jackson Chezik, who holds on for a face-off with 41.9 left to go here in period number 1. Shots have been aplenty so far, 16-11. The shots on goal. Zephyrs as a team have averaged 35 per game this season. Northfield, meanwhile, 38.3, so not atypical to pace. Simon a shot on. Chezik puts it to the far side corner. Raiders will hold it in. Whiteman lost his edging, and he lost his edging illegally, meaning that there will be a penalty assist against Mahtomedi, and our first power play of the game will start in the first period, extend to the second period, and maybe result in a goal one way or the other. The affected party here for Mahtomedi will be Henry Samper, who goes for a hook. At 16:31 by that official's designation. And that puts Northfield on a power play, their first of the game. Face-off won by Northfield. Kennelly had to walk it back, but a good pressure made by Cody Loida sends it back. Zephyrs will have numbers as Loida carries it back into the zone. Gilbertson fighting with Loida for possession. Left it there. It's taken over now. Bridger Riley. Miles Kennelly. The attacking zone. Kennelly dropped it off. A shot blocked out in front off the stick of Zach Zins. And a face-off that will be due back in the defensive zone of Mahtomedi. The officials will go over to the scorer's table and see what time, if any, need be tacked on. They will tack on an extra second, so 5.8 here. Left to go in period number 1. Stewart won the draw, tried to send it through. Riley has it in the corner. One last backhanded chance as the puck goes through to the half wall. The horn will sound. And for as dominant as Mahtomedi was in the first 10 minutes of play, it is the Northfield Raiders via Walker Sorum's second goal of the season that has given the Northfield Raiders a 1-0 lead after 17 minutes of play here at the St. Croix Valley Rec Center in St. Paul's suburb, Stillwater. Raiders win leading after 1. They're 3-0-0 this season. Zephyrs win trailing 0-3-1. Coming back in a couple of moments for some intermission conversation, some highlights, some stats, and everything else you might find useful. The Raiders and the Zephyrs. Northfield leading 1-0 after the first period of play. Here on your home for Mahtomedi Zephyr Boys Hockey, Suburban Community Channels TV 19.
Listen up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Buckle up! Nobody is more prepared for an emergency than Dogman.
With all your kung fu skills and your K9 fortitude or whatnot.
But for the rest of us, a good plan goes a long way.
Come on, let's go!
So, whether it's an unexpected disaster or the world's most evilest cat bent on destroying all do-gooders,
Destroy all do-gooders!
you can help your family be ready for anything.
No time to waste. Will you get out of here?
Get started today at ready.gov/kids.
I never realized that I'd be taking care of a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old on my own. Sometimes as dads, I think we're too hard on ourselves. We get down on ourselves on not being able to, we're the providers, but we also have to learn to take care of ourselves. Self-love made me a better dad because I realized my worth. My daughter Isabella recently had a graduation into high school, and I got emotional because I saw pride in her eyes. I saw my daughter have her own self-love, and I saw the hard work of me being that dad 24/7 transferred to my teenage daughter. The word father means a lot to me. When I give my love to my children as a father, I can see it.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's and master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
My dad showcased a sense of love that I never had before. It felt like it was something that I've always wanted. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Walker Sorum, his first goal since December the 9th against Mankato West, has Northfield Raiders in front by a score of 1-0 after 17 minutes of play from St. Croix Valley Rec Center in Stillwater, Minnesota. Hi, everybody. Very pleasant Tuesday evening to you. My name is Alex Westhead here high atop the ice at St. Croix Valley Rec Center. For the first 7 minutes of this game, it was almost expected, anticipated, whatever superlative you want to use, that the Mahtomedi Zephyrs were going to cruise their way to victory. But Northfield blink and they turned on the gas, sure enough. A series of high-flying physical play and flurry of shots. The Mahtomedi Zephyrs flung everything that they had at Gavin Winter over that early stretch, and every single time the senior goaltender said no to a Mahtomedi Zephyr shooter. Northfield had their chances, plenty of them. That Kennelly and Stewart chance was the key, but that shot, harmlessly as it seemed, Walker Sorum with the goal-ahead goal in the first period. That's given the Northfield Raiders this 1-0 lead. They hold after 17 minutes of play. Shots, again, 16-12 in favor of Mahtomedi. Scoring opportunities, 4-4. But again, with that first 7 minutes of play, you really felt like Mahtomedi was going to make something happen, going to turn something into a goal there. But for better or worse, Mahtomedi just couldn't handle it as their struggles against ranked teams this year continue. 1-6-2 after regulation games against ranked opponents. So far still looking for that first goal, and we'll have about 1 minute and 32 seconds of penalty kill time to begin period number 2 and the period of the long change. 1-0. Northfield leads over Mahtomedi after 17 minutes of play. Walker Storm the goal. We'll see who's got the next goal. Coming up next here on your home for Mahtomedi Zephyr Boys Hockey, Suburban Community Channels TV 19.
Mom, did you really need to buy 2 can openers for our emergency kit?
I can't help it. They're 2 for 1. What's this?
We need to keep our family communication plan safe in case of an emergency.
Thanks, Tita.
Oh, man. Well, good thing we kept all the lights we used for Diwali.
I've got the battery pack.
Keep my phone powered so we don't miss any alerts.
What about game night?
Sounds good.
Oh, we have to get to Mom and Dad's and get them somewhere safe. I've got the evacuation route loaded on my phone.
I've got an updated list of Dad's meds.
And I've got just what we need to get them to take this seriously.
If that doesn't convince them that we thought this through, I don't know what would.
Start a conversation with your family and plan together for emergencies.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Danny.
Danny! Labs.
Danny, we need to talk.
Danny! She's overdosing.
When no one else knows what to do, it's gotta be you. Carry naloxone. You could save a life.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong. The good news is, Anthony, the human we're tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with strong new gear to defend against the flu. So let's go fight for Anthony! Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. It was time for me to change my life and the lives of my family, so I went back and I got my high school diploma. That was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher.
Mom, this is your very first yearbook.
Your commitment to education motivates me, your coworkers, and your students.
You showed me that if you come from nothing, you can still be anything.
You told me I deserve to succeed. It's been 15 years, and I still live by that.
You're the model for success for your kids, grandkids, and your students.
When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Calling all big thinkers. The world's climate is changing. These aren't new facts.
but it means we must think in new ways. Engineers are answering the call to create solutions that decrease our dependence on fossil fuels, taking lessons from the best engineer out there, nature. Engineers are creating cleaner, safer, and reliable energy.
Now, it doesn't take a big thinker to realize it's been a good game so far today at the St. Croix Valley Rec Center. Northfield 1, Mahtomedi 0 after 17 minutes of play. Raiders will have 1:32 of power play time to begin this second period. And what's been and what has been expected to be a great matchup between two top 10 teams in Class A tonight in Stillwater, Minnesota. First regular season meeting between these two since 2022, first in this barn since 2018. They haven't played each other frequently, separated by 51 miles of highway driving. Here's what it's been over the course of that time in which these two teams have played each other, dating back in far as 2017 in the State A quarterfinal at then Xcel Energy Center, now Grand Casino Arena. Since then, Mahtomedi had won a series of 4 in a row prior to last year's State A consolation game at 3M Arena at Mariucci. So Northfield bookending those 2 wins in between 4 Mahtomedi wins. And when Mahtomedi wins, they score in bunches, winning by about a 3 to 4 goal per game margin over Northfield in that head-to-head matchup. So when the Zephyrs win, they win by a lot, whereas Northfield knows how to hold on to a win. Gavin Winter has been holding on so far. 16 shots faced, 16 shots stopped. Jackson Chezik has only bluffed 1 time. For a shot low, screen perhaps, got past the senior goaltender as he made 43 of 47 in a 4-0 loss to Minnetonka on Saturday at Pagel Ice Arena in Minnetonka. And the Raiders will head back to the power play to begin period number 2. Northfield's power play had ample opportunities their last game against New Prague, but was ultimately limited to going 1 for 6. In terms of the Raider power play on the road, they are just 1 for their last 12 in road games. A year ago against Mahtomedi, they went 1 for 5 in the consolation semifinal of last year's Class A state tournament at 3M Arena at Mariucci. Cale Brummel had it back for Mahtomedi, but offsides was called. And it'll be a face-off at neutral ice. 1:20 remaining on this power play for Northfield. It was on the pass, so it'll be back towards the shallow side, Zephyr side of neutral ice. Zephyrs, meanwhile, their penalty kill on the season, 68.3%, but with a little grain of salt there. Against Minnetonka on Saturday, they killed 3 of 4. And here on home ice, they've killed 12 of 13. Home penalties faced this season. So, again, take that with just a grain of salt based on how they have been performing this year. Gilbertson into the zone, shot through, redirected off of the stick of Robiszewski. And back into the Mahtomedi zone, another face-off in that zone with 1:04 remaining of power play time for the Northfield Raiders. Easton Desalar, all 4 points, goals this year. A little unique for him, though, as he was just on your screen. His 4 points this year, all goals. A year ago, all 4 his points were assists. How about that? Whiteman out of the corner. Tried to take it there. He's still hung to the corner. As they'll continue to fight for it there. Check delivered on the near side by Whiteman. They'll continue to wrestle for the puck in the corner. 46 seconds on power play time. Miles Kennelly back to the blue line for Bridger. Bridger, and a tripping call is coming, will even it up. The question is, though, which way will this go? Zephyr goaltender Chezik was out of the net. And this will be an interference minor, which will spring the door open for Northfield on their side. Their captain, Bridger Riley, in his 4th season on the varsity roster, heads to the penalty box. We'll have 37 seconds of 4-on-4 time before the Zephyrs get their first power play of the night. Samper, 37 seconds remaining on his penalty time. Bridger Riley's full 2 starts now. Face-off briefly controlled by Mahtomedi, then regathered by Levi Schmidt. Looking to start the breakout. Ashton Pumper for Northfield, cleared it back out. Cody Loida had it, sent it off the boards. Devin O'Donnell carries it back into his corner. Tried to draw the penalty around Peters. Peters able to wrestle it free for Northfield. Peters back from the far side, hit off the stick of Gutterman, back into the Northfield defensive zone with 8 seconds remaining of 4-on-4 time. Pumper had it knocked down, picked up by Schmidt. Schmidt will wind the clock as much as he can as the Zephyrs are back to full strength. Great straight work made by Mahtomedi as they're able to get the puck back. It's taken by Cody Loida. And now Henry Samper further ahead into the zone for Owen O'Donnell. Back out in front, shot through, blocked, not by Winter, but instead by the defender, Pumper. Down the length of the ice it'll go. Goaltender Chesak will come out to play it laterally on the line with 59 seconds remaining on the first Zephyr power play of the night. Samper looks to go for a pass, finds Gutterman on the left side. Gutterman walks his way low, spins around Stewart. Gutterman pumped back down low for Redpath. To Gutterman, to the point, Loida, Samper on the dot, shot saved by Gavin Winter. And he hold on for a face-off. 37 seconds remaining on this power play. Still 1-0, Northfield holding on. Mahtomedi's power play went 0 for 4 against Minnetonka on Saturday. They're 1 for their last 7 power play attempts here at St. Croix Valley Rec Center. Their last power play goal coming here on home ice December the 12th against Warroad. Gutterman for Loida, into the slot, score! Streak is over, Vinny Redpath, his 8th of the year power play goal. And the Zephyrs tied at 1-1. Vinny Redpath had a natural hat trick against Orono in this building. And how the bumper man finds his way into the middle of the ice, not just finding it, but having that much time, having that much space. Where he could just pick a corner. Vinny Redpath does exactly that, and it's 1-1 on the power play goal for the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. And all of a sudden, we got us a game now. Redpath is 8th. And in terms of the Zephyr team leaders, that will tie him with Devin O'Donnell, who also has 8. Icing called here. Face-off to result in the Mahtomedi defensive zone. Samper picks up the assist, as does Cody Loida. For Loida, that makes it now 5 assists in his last 4 games. And for Samper, he picks up just his 4th point for the Mahtomedi Zephyrs this year. Across it goes. Blake Benz into the zone, dropped it off. Hit the backside of the skate of first. Zephyrs will try to hold possession. It goes back out for Zach Zins. Zins chipped back into the defensive zone. Pumper to it for Northfield. Morrow trying to back it out. Benjamin will send it down. Race for the puck is on. And a pass from the far side corner by Weber. Finds its way all the way back out through neutral. Here's Braden First. First will try the corner. Lowers his shoulder. Trying to drive his way in. Rubbed out of the play by Schmidt. Tommy Bowe will put it low. Back to the blue line. Around the horn. Zins tried to put a shot through. Taken over by Charlie Becker. And freed back through neutral. Dunbar for Zins. Spinning around Benjamin, looking to get himself some more space. Zins, that puck intercepted by Charlie Becker, and Benjamin will reset for Northfield into their own defensive zone for the Raiders. Richard Riley taken over by Riker Dunbar. Riley regains for Northfield. Riley from the wall sends a shot towards goal, and Jackson Chesak will hold on for a save here in period number 2. 13:01 left to go, period number 2. Walker Sorum in the first. Vinny Redpath in the power play in the second. And we're all tied at 1 goal apiece. Weber on the face-off draw for Northfield. Devin O'Donnell on it for Mahtomedi. Weber the face-off win. A tee-up and a drive. And the first save made by Chesak, steered back to the corner. Peters Peters taken out of the play by Brummel legally. And Whiteman will hold on. Taken back over now by O'Donnell, trying to free his attacking partner there, and Brock Gutterman, who's playing up from the defensive side. Instead, it's stuck back down to the corner. Rung to the near side. Zephyrs trying to feather a pass through. It's taken back over by Mahtomedi and Trevor Rogoszewski, but the whistle will blow. And there was a Zephyr without his helmet. Will Zephyrs lost it. At the high school level, the whistle blows immediately, and there'll be another face-off in a last play situation after this. Jacob Peters, there's Will Zephyrs, 4 points in his last 5 entering tonight. Career year last season, 7 goals, 9 assists. Also linebacker and running back for Mahtomedi football. Have to put his helmet on here. I'm sure Dave Metzel would like to see the helmet strap tight a little bit more in the football season there for Zephyrs as well. Off the face-off, it's taken in by Gilbertson. Up behind, Samper to stop to it first. Desalar tried to clear it back out through center. Hit off the skate of Stewart. And it's picked up by Pumper. Sorum takes his time across neutral. Sorum will cut back at the near side wall. Sorum drops for Stewart. Stewart trying to cut his way on in. Taken out of the play by Cody Loida. Stewart into the corner. Will gather it up there. Desalar. Put it back for Samper. Samper sends a long shot on. Winter makes the save. Sorum cleared back out to center. Down the length of the ice it'll go. And icing is called.
Icing charge at Northfield.
11:46 to go, second period. Shots on goal 19-14. In favor of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. A high-flying first period. Saw both teams amass quite a few shots on goal. Slowed down a little bit here in period number 2. Also a little bit more flow compared to what there was in the first frame of this game as well. Face-off controlled by Northfield. They'll clear it out, but this will go down the length of the ice, and lo and behold, another icing call. Face-off to the right of Gavin Winter. He will not record a clean sheet tonight, but did have one clean sheet against Waseca. Odd, too, that a shutout would occur in overtime where the pressure's all the more on, but that's what he did. He picked it up in a 1-0 win. The Raiders over the Blue Jays of Waseca in the overtime session. Dunbar tried to send a shot through. It's run around to the far side. Gathered up by Charlie Becker. Becker tried to clear the zone. Simon will hold it in, rings it around to the far side there. Richard Riley back to the blue line where it's chipped out by Philip Benjamin into the Zephyr defensive zone. Icing is waved off. Zach Zins to it, rings it around to the near side. It's gathered up by Stewart at first, then Simon was the one who tried to make a play on it. Great pass, bends red path into the zone. And it's knocked off the stick as Dunbar couldn't handle it. Benjamin was the one who had the stick on for Northfield, and the Zephyrs are delayed offside. Carter Simon for Becker. Becker taken out of the play by Zach Zins, and the arm of the referee for time being will stand down. O'Donnell pass back out. Shot save by Winter on a good look in the slot by Braden First. It's amazing tonight how many times we've seen good setups, good rushes into the zone. Here's Mahtomedi's latest example of that. First being that F3, being that one high in the slot, waiting for that shot to come, and the senior with an impressive +9 on the season entering play tonight. Able to pick that off and almost finished it off. Peters out of the corner. Pumper gathers for Northfield. Here's Whiteman. Whiteman tried to stay onside and did. Whiteman left it for Weber. Into the corner it goes. Weber, pass, Whiteman, slot save made by Chezik as it just caught part of the pipe on the way out of play. Mahtomedi gets a chance in their own right. Northfield responds with one of their own. The play everybody thought was offside, but just as Redpath was open in the slot, with a power play goal for the Zephyrs, seemed to there for Christian Whiteman. And the goalie's best friend, the post, helped him out there. Peters had a chance at it, as did Whiteman. It's taken back over by Mahtomedi. Brock Gutterman But a pass further ahead was looking for Cale Brummel. To the corner on the far side, Whiteman looks to push it further ahead. Peters gathers it there. Peters looks for a pass, instead turns it into a shot. Chezik steers it aside. Weber. It'll be offside if it's touched by Northfield, and it will be. With delayed of an offsides call. Good attempt at it by Peters to hold his own, but just a little behind on it on the far side. And the face-off will result all the way back in Northfield's defensive zone, 9:50 to go. Raiders in maroon and gold. According to the Northfield website, the official color is not maroon, it's a version of plum. How about that? Out of the corner. That can be taken there. Gagnelius. Low for Loida. Shot from a sharp angle out in front, held on to by Winter. As Easton Desalar came on down and fired a couple of quick shots on, and Winter held on. Really feel both teams trying to get those chances right now where those defenses are spreading. Obviously the one for the power play, you're outmanned in that situation, but you can really feel how the defenses are spreading, giving teams more space. Certainly in those high danger areas. Amazing that the only one that has been scored, maybe a testament to the strength of the goaltending, is the power play goal earlier on in the period by Vinny Redpath. A turnover that was forced. Knocked to the corner. Riley couldn't hold the zone. It'll go back out to center. Miles Kennelly will pick it there. Kennelly into the zone. Looks to ring it around. Bothered by the play of Loida. Taking over Stewart. Stewart's shot. Harmlessly turned aside by the goaltender. Kennelly withstands a check, as did Pumper. Now it's tied up on the boards, now towards the Zamboni doors, and taken over by Henry St-Pierre. Desalar into the zone, has that knocked off his stick a couple of times. Pumper picks it up, further ahead for Gilbertson into the zone. Gilbertson, a shot wide left, brings all the way back to the blue line, and the whistle will blow. And an extra shove after the fact. And we'll see if anything comes of this. The net was knocked off. It's mooring behind Jackson Chezik. And then after the play, there was physicality and roughing call will be, and you see it there on your screen. Easton Desalar, and I'll get the official pronunciation here so I can stop annoying people with it. It'll be a second chance on the power play now for Northfield on the roughing minor at 8:37. I know opportunity better than when you can take advantage of an unforced error by a team. And in the case of Desalar, I guess you can make the argument too that the whistle hadn't sounded yet, or you hadn't heard the whistle more likely, but that spot that time, discretion, better part of valor there. Peters on the power play now for Northfield. Their second of the game. Peters. The power play for Northfield ended because the penalty that was taken by Bridger Riley that led to the power play that Mahtomedi scored on in this period. So in the case of Northfield, staying out of the box themselves will be pivotal here. Peters at the wall. Goes back for Simon. Simon tees it up off the post on the near side. Zins gathers, sends it back out. And now continuing is Riker Dunbar. And there'll be a tripping minor that'll get called here. And who's headed to the box? It appears as though Jacob Peters is. We 2 for tripping to Jacob Peters. That ends the Northfield power play for the second time tonight because of taking their own penalty. A little sigh of relief perhaps from Mahtomedi. Face off in the zone for Northfield. They'll have to play defense. Loida will take it down low. Will the Zephyrs. O'Donnell right behind, waiting for some pressure. Didn't come, and now it does. Loida Gathers it there. From behind, too far for O'Donnell. Riley got to it in the corner, couldn't corral it, sends it back behind, out in front to the slot, and an open net missed by Brock Gutterman. Lloyd at the blue. Leaves it O'Donnell. O'Donnell tried to spring the give and go. It's taken over now, Bridger Riley. Through neutral ice, Miles Kennelly. Kennelly into the zone, lost it. Schmidt gathers for the Raiders, puts it back in. Riley, shot, blocker, save made by Chezik. Kennelly working towards the slot. Stewart scores! Michael Stewart, his 7th of the year. A 4-on-4 goal, and the Raiders retake a 2-1 lead. And the player, Zeller, was excused from the box. He should not have been. That was an even strength goal. Kennelly out of the corner, just a spin and a fire from Stewart. And after a 4-point game against New Prague, make it now a 5-game point streak for the senior Michael Stewart. And Northfield takes the 2-1 lead. Now the officials are having a conversation with the Mahtomedi bench. As the clock had been taken off, the time had been taken off. You see it on our screen. 24 seconds will remain of 4-on-4 time. Once that math is figured out, they put 2 minutes on. Well, now we know that's not correct. But Michael Stewart, 7th goal of the season, 16th point. The Zephyrs couldn't get the puck out of the zone. I think that's how it starts. But Kennelly, the sophomore, finds the senior and Stewart right in the slot. You can keep firing all you want, and as a result, that turns into a 2-1 Raider lead. Well, the Mahtomedi Zephyrs, one of the longtime state powers, two state championships in 2020 and 2023. It was always a question of not if Mahtomedi could get over the hump and get that state tournament title. It was just a question of when. Put 28 seconds on the clock in the penalty time for Desalar. It's a little longer than perhaps what it should be, but obviously we're the only ones here with TV access and replay access, so we'll keep that to ourselves. Zephyrs put it down in low. Wrap around O'Donnell, and another puck towards the goal, and Winter keeps the legs closed. Oh, point blank save by Gavin Winter. Wow. We've seen this wrap around a couple of times tonight by Devin O'Donnell. And he tried to get it to fire. Will Severs was right there too, and when Winter lost it, he just put that glove right behind, closed the back door of the 5-hole. Was able to keep this a 2-1 Raider lead. 18 seconds of 4-on-4 time. On the face-off win, controlled by Mahtomedi. Still 4-on-4. Saint-Pierre will walk, shot. That came from the blue line, and Gutterman cleared back out as far as center. Gutterman is on it. Kennelly is the first to it for Northfield. Taken over. Henry Saint-Pierre, the future Maine Black Bear. Tries the right side of the attacking zone. Zephyrs back to full strength. Saint-Pierre puts it for first. Loida looks to spring the trigger man in the bumper spot. Goes to the corner. Simon fires around for Redpath. Redpath fighting for it with Riley. It's cleared out. The opposite side. Well done by Northfield to clear the zone. Chezik puts it for Gutterman. Zephyrs back to it. Vinny Redpath gathers there. 10 seconds now remaining on the power play. Abbreviated at that for Mahtomedi. Henry Saint-Pierre. Loida carries into the zone. Loida from the dot. Look to try to center a pass as the Raiders return to full strength. Gutterman pushed it down in low. Into the corner for First. First knifes his way through. First will scrape his way back. First sprinting his way into the corner and then back out of it. Loida sent a shot, hit off the end boards. Simon tapped it around to the near side. It's held in by Samper. Redpath. Blue line for Loida. Loida will navigate his way low, looking for some space. Simon will loft it back to center ice, and the Zephyrs will reset there. Samper chipped it in off the stick of Gutterman. Then clear back out. Samper will take it over. Further ahead, Zephyrs back into the zone. Benjamin on the puck for Northfield. Got sent back through. Right onto the stick of Gagnelius, but take there and now cleared out down the length of the ice by Northfield. And icing is called. 4:31 to go, second period. 2-1 is our score. Raiders goals by Sorum and Stewart, and the power play goal by Vinny Redpath, the scoring so far. And for as choppy as that first period was, the second period has been a lot more typical for what you expect between two teams in a top matchup, a top 10 matchup here in Class A. Northfield out of Section 1, Mahtomedi out of Section 4. Gutterman. Receivers, and then pass out in front on the give and go. Does not connect with Gutterman. Christian Whiteman is offsides into the zone. As a result of the offsides, this will be a face-off at neutral ice with 4:08 to go in period number 2. Jacob Peters has goals in 3 straight for Northfield, career best in goals and points for the Raiders. He has 5 goals, 3 and 8 on the season. O'Donnell and Weber on the draw. Weber wins it back. Schmidt gathers for the Raiders. Pumper navigates to the defensive zone. Cleared it back for Dunbar's possession at neutral. And the Mahtomedi Zephyrs back into the zone. Feel the amount of momentum that has sprung for both sides after the goals have been scored tonight. How the game has changed so frequently. In the first 7 minutes or so, Mahtomedi, the better of team, the better of pace, the better of position. The goal by Sorum really changed how they played as Zephyrs are off sides there. But that's kind of the dance that's gone on between these two teams tonight. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Zephyrs at one point in this game had an 8-0 shots on goal lead. Now 22-18. Face off neutral ice. Tommy Bowe on for the Zephyrs. Oliver Benjamin wins it for Northfield. Benjamin tries to skate around Bowe. Across, brother in the corner. Philip Benjamin to gather there. Tommy Bowe. Becker frees a puck from the stick of Bowe. Out in front for Benjamin. Becker tied up with the stick of Zins. And Braden First will spring it ahead for Vinny Redpath. Redpath spins, put a shot through, hit off the skate of Sorum for Northfield, and Redpath will move his edges back behind. Dunbar battles with Benjamin in the corner. It's rung around to the near side half wall. And First able to put it back in space. Dunbar shot through, hit a redirection out in front. Redpath and Simon, for their respective teams, were in the area. Zins able to free it. Now has it there. Zins, a shot blocked in front. Follow-up score! Zephyrs follow the puck. They tie it 2-2 here in the second. It starts with the face-off win in the corner. And then that fight for it, 2-on-2 aside. Zins holds it near side half wall, waiting. The pass goes out in front. And just enough of the persistence to get the puck towards the net, resulting in the goal. We'll get the announcement, but the Zephyrs tie it at 2-2 here in the second period of play. Robertson. Then down low for Pumper. It will be Tommy Bowe who picks up the goal. That'll be his first, his first varsity goal. He had 3 assists in the game against Orono and now picks up his first goal. Loida escorted to the corner by Michael Stewart. Desalar back out, slot, short angle, saved by Winter. And the fracas that ensues will defuse, and there'll be a face-off in Northfield's end. There will be a chuck-a-puck in about 1 minute and 45 seconds of game time. Shots on goal now 24-18 in favor of Mahtomedi with 1:45 to go. And it's the same kind of chances paid off for Mahtomedi tonight. Just keep peppering, keep peppering. Take advantage. The goals for Northfield tonight have been opportunistic. Mahtomedi, to their effort, has created opportunities of their own. Peters gathered it, had it, lost it. Taken over at center by Zephyrs. Try to go into the zone. Cale Brummel brought it in. Zephyrs are offside with 1 minute and 22 to go. Well, the game that'll follow here tonight at St. Croix Valley Rec Center, Stillwater Boys Hockey against Rosemount. And that should be quite a good one indeed. Stillwater, one of the favorites certainly in Section 4AA, if there are any favorites that are not the Hill Murray Pioneers for that matter. Stillwater certainly likes their chances, as I would agree. Sampere going around to the far side. Brock Gunnerman cleared as far as center. Will Sievers try to put it ahead. Simon back to it for Northfield. Cleared back through neutral ice. Sampere on in pursuit. Picks it up in his own defensive zone. Sampere trying to use net as a screen. Had to slow down. Cleared it back out as far as center. It's taken over by Schmidt for Northfield. Peters put it towards goal. Chesak had it. Keeps it alive. So the Zephyrs can start a breakout. Cody Loida into the attacking zone. Loida leaves it left side. Gutterman shot and steered out of the play by Gavin Winter in a face-off in Northfield's defensive zone. 40 seconds to go here in period number 2. Our camera operators today have been Brandon, Christian Stoltzman, and our truck crew, David Scaler, Dave Cast, and Joe Sigourney. And certainly if Winter keeps holding on, that's kind of what he's had to do today. Riley with the Northfield Raiders sends a shot on, stung to the corner. It's taken back over by Cody Loida. Loida ahead, has Bowe with him. Loida tried to drop for Bowe. It's held there by Redpath. Redpath into the corner. Loida shot through, hit off of Redpath in front, looking to stuff it home on the near side. And the whistle will blow as Gavin Winter held on for a face-off. Gavin Winter, the senior. The other goaltender on the roster for Northfield is Riker Landon, who played Bantam hockey last season for Northfield. And Winter right now, the goals against average 196, save percentage of .915. Exactly what we've gotten out of him tonight. And if there's ever a time for the announcer's jinx to backfire, it is exactly there. Mahtomedi fires a shot off of a face-off as time expires. And the Zephyrs take a 3-2 lead with 7 seconds left to go. Clean face-off win. And just like the first Northfield goal, a shot from a long way out. Henry Sampere will get it his second. And they'll look for one more. Driving in, looking for a redirection, held on to by Winter. And just like the first goal for Walker Sorum, the goal for Henry Sampere, the main commit, from the blue line, from a sharp off-center angle, just screened just high enough to find its way into the back of the net. The horn sounds. And 10 seconds of game time ago, a 3-2 Zephyr lead at the end of 2 was, well, maybe to the casual fan out of the picture, but for those who know this team, and know the skill and potential that they have, well, it's just a normal day for the Mahtomedi blue and gold. Goals for the Zephyrs in the third period. At least in the second period, rather. Redpath, Beau, Samper. And after trailing 1-0 after one, the Zephyrs score 3 times in the second period, and they will lead after 34 minutes of play 3-2 in a top 10 matchup of teams here in Class A. There were a lot of highlights in period number 2. We'll have stats and information and schedules for you coming up in our second intermission. 3-2 Zephyrs after 2. You're on your home for Zephyr Boys Hockey, Suburban Community Channels TV 19.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. It was time for me to change my life and the lives of my family, so I went back and I got my high school diploma. That was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher.
Mom, this is your very first yearbook.
Your commitment to education motivates me, your coworkers, and your students.
You showed me that if you come from nothing, you can still be anything.
You told me I deserve to succeed. It's been 15 years, and I still live by that.
You're the model for success for your kids, grandkids, and your students.
When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy. It's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong. The good news is, Anthony, the human we're tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with strong new gear to defend against the flu. So let's go fight for Anthony! Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Unless you're wearing the number 30, the general consensus around St. Croix Valley Ice Center is, well, that's a lot better. That's more like it. Goals aplenty. Stewart, the lone tally for Northfield. Samper, Redpath, and Bow for the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. And after trailing 1-0 at the end of one period, Mahtomedi now leads by 1, 3-2 after 34 minutes of play at St. Croix Valley Rec Center in Stillwater. My name is Alex Wested. Our great crew here today in Stillwater has been treated to quite the game so far. It started with 7 minutes of dominant ice time by the Mahtomedi Zephyrs, where it felt like in that span a goal was going to arrive, surely. But the second period proved to be the opposite, more of the back and forth flow that we were expecting to see. It started this power play goal from the bumper spot. Vinny Redpath picks up his 8th of the season, but the Zephyrs were not done yet. They took the power play and rode that momentum going forward. A miscue, though, gives Northfield the lead. Kennelly passes out in front to Stewart in the slot, and Northfield took the 2-1 lead. And this golden chance. O'Donnell with the wraparound, stuffed by Winter on the last chance by Zephyrs. It was this battle in the corner which turned to this rifle from Zinn out in front, followed up on by Tommy Bow, who picks up his first varsity goal to tie the game at 2. And then this seemingly harmless last-second shot finds the back of the net. The frustration from Gavin Winter as Henry Samper pots his second goal of the season, giving Mahtomedi the 3-2 lead after 2 periods of play. Shots on goal still about where they were at the end of one period. The 7-shot advantage for Mahtomedi. Scoring chances favored Mahtomedi in that period. Northfield, you saw the clunkiness start to rear its head again on the back half of that second period, but still really good chances on both sides. Power plays 1 for 2 is Mahtomedi. Northfield 0 for 2 on the power play so far, continuing their cold streak against New Prague, where now they are 1 for their last 8 on the power play. So a lot of time left, but Mahtomedi taking the comfortable advantage into the locker room after 34 minutes of play. 3-2 the score. Zephyrs in front of Northfield after 34 minutes of play. We'll be back for the third period in moments. You're on your home for boys hockey in the East Metro. Suburban Community Channels TV 19.
Mom, did you really need to buy 2 can openers for our emergency kit?
I can't help it. They're 2 for 1. What's this?
We need to keep our family communication plan safe in case of an emergency.
Thanks, Tita. Oh, man.
Well, good thing we kept all the lights we used for Diwali.
I've got the battery pack. Keep my phone powered so we don't miss any alerts.
What about game night?
Sounds good.
Oh, we have to get to Mom and Dad's and get them somewhere safe. I've got the evacuation route loaded on my phone.
I've got an updated list of Dad's meds.
And I've got just what we need to get them to take this seriously.
If that doesn't convince them that we thought this through, I don't know what would.
Start a conversation with your family and plan together for emergencies.
I'm a different kind of threat. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. You can't call the cops on me.
Do you still want to hang out after?
I don't want your money or your TV. I don't even have to break in. I'm invited.
Self-love made me a better dad because I realized my worth. Arapaho way, you gotta pray for yourself, as well as for everybody else, but never forget yourself. The word father means a lot to me. When I give my love to my children as a father, I can see it. That's the benefit of being a father is seeing those smiling faces.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
When I came back from the war, I was barely hanging on by a thread. I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. She says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to love.
Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
At school, it feels like everyone's staring at me and I'm just kind of not really a person.
Sometimes I can't believe that you could be proud of me if I'm not proud of myself.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
Think of our best times together. Let's do more of that.
Try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Call of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs, and he responded with a goal right now, the go-ahead goal for Mahtomedi, 3-2 Zephyrs, as we get ready to start the third period of play from the St. Croix Valley Rec Center. Alex Westhead here, high atop the ice at St. Croix Valley Rec Center. Our camera crew today, Ben Brannon and Christian Stoltzman. In the truck, David Schuyler, Dave Cast, and Joe Sigourney. The two teams after tonight will take very different routes to the end of the 2025-26 regular season. Mahtomedi, much can be made by the naked eye of their record, 5-6-2, entering this one today. Northfield at 9-1-0. But for the Zephyrs, their schedule continues to get tough and will continue to be tough down the stretch here in the 2026 portion of their schedule. For the Zephyrs, after tonight, 4 of the remaining games that they will have will be against unranked opponents. The rest all are. It starts on the next opportunity, Thursday, at number 3 Delano in Class A. After that, they will return home here to another very good team, the St. Thomas Academy Cadets, on January the 22nd. After that, they will be home here again until the February 7th game against the Hastings Raiders, who right now is ahead of them in the Class 4A QRF ranking in Section 4. I almost called it the pairwise. It's not quite the pairwise, but Mahtomedi will spend not just only the bulk of their schedule the rest of the way away from home, even the games they have at home, St. Thomas Academy Hastings, one that's not on that graphic. They have home to St. Cloud Cathedral to conclude their regular season on February the 13th. That is no easy schedule for Mahtomedi down the stretch. Meanwhile, for Northfield, they will play just 2 games against ranked opposition the rest of the way in 2026. They will return home down to Northfield on Thursday against Rochester Century and John Marshall. Then they'll basically tag team home and away the rest of the way down the stretch. Their remaining ranked games: January the 22nd at number 10 Breck at the Breck School Anderson Ice Arena in Golden Valley, and then their regular season finale at Delano on Saturday, February the 14th. So the Raiders right now figure to be a player in the Big 9 Conference. They're third of the teams in the Big 9 right now, but they too, with state tournament aspirations out of Section 1, there's a lot to look at and a lot to look towards moving into the rest of this game here today. Raiders after 2, when they are trailing this season, are 1-1. Mahtomedi, when leading after 2, are 4-0-1. If you're a fan of boys high school hockey in the state of Minnesota and you haven't learned, no matter the record, no matter the situation, Mahtomedi not just can beat you at any time, they will beat you at any time. Well, it might be time to pick up the old pen and paper, huh? Gavin Winter has stopped 22 of 25. Shots faced tonight for the Northfield Raiders. Made 40 saves on 42 last year in the consolation round at 3M Arena at Mariucci. Riker Dunbar with goals in 2 straight home games. Like to make it 3. Let's see if he does. Immediately, face-off sent back in. Good body play made by Ashton Pumper. Denies a chance the other way. Riley put further ahead for Becker into the zone. Northfield looking for the equalizer, and Zach Zins will rub it out of play. The whistle will blow, and the goaltender Jackson Chesak will hold on for a face-off. 16:40 to go. Chesak 17 saves on 19 shots for Mahtomedi tonight. Remember, with a win tonight, Chesak will pick up his 10th win of the season. It's been Chesak the majority of the way for Mahtomedi. The other goaltender, Nico Huberty, has played just 7 minutes of game time in a 4-1 win against Two Rivers. Pumper. Riley. Back down for Becker. Becker spins it around. Benjamin trying to pick it, get it to his brother Benjamin. Benjamin will gather it back up at center. Over the head of Pumper. Zins fanned on it on the sticky ice after the resurface. And it's taken out of the corner by Oliver Benjamin. Pumper knocked down with a skate. Try to go right side, looking for Philip Benjamin. And back into the zone it goes, Caden Gagnelius. Spins for Zins. Dunbar. Through neutral. Dunbar. Back to the near side off the stick. Blake Loida has to pick it up and send it in. Winter will knock it down, stopping it behind. Ashton Pumper. For Michael Stewart. Stewart, the last Northfield goal. Puts a shot on, held on to by Chesak as the shot forced him back to an awkward angle. The senior holds on for the faceoff. Chesak on the season, .333 goals against average, .909 save percentage. Stewart on the faceoff, posed by Devin O'Donnell. Sorum try to gather at the blue line, but the bouncing puck had to be recontrolled. It's taken over by Vinny Redpath. Further ahead, Cody Loida into the zone. Loida, backhanded shot on, saved by Winter. Loida into the corner. Tries to find somewhere to go with it. A backhanded pass intercepted by Stewart and re-intercepted by Mahtomedi and Vinny Redpath. Out in front for Loida, but a stick lift was issued illegally so. And the Zephyrs heading to the power play after the hooking minor to be assessed here at 1:45. It'll be Walker Sorum to the penalty box, 2 for hooking, 1:45. And the Raider who scored first tonight for Northfield will sit in the penalty box as Mahtomedi will get their first full power play of the game. They're 1 for 2 on power plays, but each of those abbreviated. Loida back behind as the Raiders able to clear the puck out the zone on the first. Samper, Gutterman puts it further ahead for first. Into the zone. First, caught upon the stick of Riley, taken all the way to the boards. Peters trying to gather it. And it's held in at the blue line by Loida. Peters trying to recontrol for Northfield. And back down it goes. Gutterman into the slot. Shot through, hit off the stick. And cleared all the way back out by Carter Simon, at least as far as the blue line. This one's held in there. To the blue line, Zephyrs. Gutterman teed up a drive, saved by Winter. Weber clears it to the blue line and out, but lost his stick for his efforts. Samper quickly with speed back into the zone. Here's Samper. He'll ring around to the far side of the net. Samper brings it back behind. First to it, Trevor Rogaszewski. Dunbar down in low, taken by Simon. Tried to clear out and did. It's gathered up at center by Zach Zins. Zephyrs looking for the redirection out in front by Rogaszewski. Good set, but the pass just a little ahead of the junior forward from Mahtomedi. They'll tie up on the half wall. Simon to get to it for Northfield Raiders. Kennelly gathers, clears it down the length of the ice with 30 seconds remaining on this Zephyr power play. Chezik sends it further ahead. A one-touch pass, Rogaszewski to Zephyrs. Zephyrs to drop for O'Donnell. Back off the side of the net. Schmidt to it for Northfield, but couldn't clear the zone. Lost a stick to Rogaszewski, allowing Northfield to clear it back out down the length of the ice and back into the Zephyr defensive zone with 9 seconds remaining on this power play. Riker Dunbar across the line to the right side. Dunbar cutting in, dropped it off, tried to fire a shot on out in front. I believe that was Brock Gutterman who tried to get it on goal, but did not quite do so, and the Raiders return to full strength. Blake Loida put it down and low for Rogaszewski. Pass back out through the slot, taken over by Charlie Becker. Becker for the Raiders in the neutral zone. And reset further ahead for Oliver Benjamin. Schmidt sent back in by Philip Benjamin. Stopped behind by Jackson Chezik. Puck rung around. Loida 2-on-2 now for the Zephyrs. O'Donnell takes it out to the right side around Pumper. Pumper played the body. The arm of the referee will stay down as Pumper and O'Donnell still fighting for possession. O'Donnell trying to pass out in front, looking for Loida in the slot. And here goes Philip Benjamin on the rush the other way as the Raiders will change lines. Benjamin tried to pull it back, but was cut down. Samper will keep it alive for Mahtomedi. Flung high off the glass. Riley will collide with Desalar. And the Mahtomedi Zephyrs reset through neutral. Riley up ahead, looking for Peters. Raiders onside. Samper brings around. Desalar stopped it behind. Weber gather it out of the corner. This goes back to the blue line for Carter Simon, sent through and held on to by the goaltender Jackson Chezik, who holds on for a faceoff. Mahtomedi Northfield, the first of a handful of games to start tonight. Bemidji and Duluth East at Heritage Arena on the west side of Duluth also started at 5 p.m. today. Otherwise, elsewhere, games that started at the 6 o'clock hour we'll get to in a minute, but it was hosted by International Falls, Wadena, Deer Creek, Morris, Benson area, and Kitson County Central. Red Lake Falls leading Kitson County Central 4-0. Off to the far side, Braden first. For Bow, pass behind the intended receiver. Weber will gain the red line and dump it back in. Trevor Rogaszewski to the left side, put further ahead. Gutterman had a good pass, but first lost his feet, and Whiteman tried to carry it back. Now Simon has it, a 2-on-1 for the Raiders. Simon has Peters with them, passed it out in front. Peters had the pass in his skates, and it was controlled well. Great defense by Rogaszewski. Simon teed up a drive into the glove of Jackson Chezik, who holds on for the faceoff. Other games going on tonight at Hastings, the United Heroes League rink. Hastings and South St. Paul and Metro East play. Opportunistic Northfield. That's how both the goals have happened so far tonight for the Raiders. We'll look for another such opportunity here. Stewart, pumper, unable to handle it, knocked off the puck, looks to start the breakout. Gagnelius through the other way. And Northfield will carry it into the zone. Zins, try to go back out. Pumper will regain at center, dumps it to the far side corner. Dunbar on it. He'll pick it up there. We'll wait for the breakout to begin. Zach Zins. Taken back over. Desalar into the zone. A shot through off the stick of Loida, blocked by the skates of Pumper. Down and low. Pass behind off to the far side. This one is on. Walker Storm was there first for Northfield. Tie back up onto the far side. Sorum. Sorum brings it around. Gilbertson tries to get the goal going for Northfield, but the pass just a little bit fanned on enough for Mahtomedi to send it back into the zone. There's Gavin Winter. Gilbertson try to send it out. Stopped by Redpath. The Pumper will regain for Northfield. He's looking for Sorum. Lost around the edges of the boards. Back off to the far side, Devin O'Donnell. Redpath sent it back through. Zephyrs out of the corner. Pass that hit the skate of Stewart, and the Zephyrs, much like they did in the opening part of period number 1, have taken control of the pace of this game. They've been dominating with possession and offensive zone time. O'Donnell was knocked off his stick there by Stewart. Stewart looks to try to find the pass, was behind Riley. That allows Sampere to take over. This pass intended for Redpath goes down the length of the ice, and icing is called. 9:11 to go in period number 3. 3-2 the score. Mahtomedi over Northfield. Games upcoming tonight at the 7 o'clock hour. In terms of what is to be hosted by schools in the region, Osceo's now in section 4A. They host Southwest Christian and Richfield up in Osseo. Otherwise, elsewhere, games of note, Stillwater and Rosemont will be taking place here following the conclusion of this game here between Mahtomedi and Northfield. That'll be a good one, certainly. Elsewhere, other games that are going on tonight, in Prairie, Benilde, St. Margaret's, that's another good one. Wrap around, out in front, looking for the stuff back door. It's taken back over on the other side. Hill Murray gets Prior Lake at Aldrich Arena tonight. That's a 7 p.m. puck drop there. And a postponement, Becker Big Lake. Sauk Rapids Rice, they are postponed. Minneapolis and Blake, too. That's another one. On to the far side. Becker will gather. We'll dump it in. Philip Benjamin picked it up in the corner, trying to get it going there. Regathered by Henry Sampere. The Zephyrs look to carry back into the attacking zone. Braden First. First along the goal line. Will cut it back. First looks for the pass into the slot. Lifted it high over the net. Did Brock Gutterman. This puck will find its way back to center for Trevor Rogaszewski. Rogaszewski with a saucer pass for First, held in by Whiteman. Peters, shot, sharp angle, but enough to be held on to by Jackson Chesak. He'll get another face-off in the Mahtomedi defensive zone. 8 minutes to go in regulation time. 3-2 the score between Mahtomedi and Northfield. Sorum got the scoring started. It was tied up by Vinny Redpath on the power play. Michael Stewart put Northfield back ahead. Tommy Bowe tied it with his first varsity goal. And Henry Sampere, inside of 10 seconds to go in the second period, has given Mahtomedi the 3-2 lead to which they've held on to. Weber dumped in. Rogaszewski in pursuit. Used the net behind to start the breakout for Mahtomedi. Rogaszewski for Loida. The first one to it is actually Pumper for Northfield. Jacob Peters. This one back through to center. Desalar left it for Cale Brummel, who tried to play it. Gagnelius tried to get it into the attacking zone, but it comes to a stop right on the blue line of the defensive zone for Northfield. Blake Loida. Devin O'Donnell gains a red line, dumps it to the corner. The assistance of the stick for Northfield, puts it there. Something on the ice. It's not perhaps supposed to be there as play will continue. Cole walked his way out to the front. Big collision there as Dunbar levels Miles Kelnoy. Zach Zins knocked it out there, and we're seeing some physicality start to ramp up between these two teams, Mahtomedi and Northfield. And there'll be a face-off at neutral ice. It started with a big collision in the defensive zone for Mahtomedi at first, I think. See if we can't take a look at it. Not so much there, but right there. Riker Dunbar laying the lumber on Miles Kennelly. We'll see how that might leak over. Shot attempt on by Bridger Riley. That went wide to the right of the goaltender. Got the glove on it. Holds on for a face-off in the Zephyrs zone. Again for Northfield. Not a section game, not a conference game. Northfield out of the Big Nine, they're 2-0 on the season. Mahtomedi out of the Metro East, they're 1-2. This face-off to the left of Chesak, won by Mahtomedi. Sins it neutral. Put it back into the Northfield end, past Kennelly. This one goes along the length of the ice and back into the Raider defensive zone, and icing will be called here. Shots on goal, 27-23. Are not too far off from where we were at the end of the second period of play. Mahtomedi, true to their form, content to possess, content to limit opportunities on the other side, and so far that's what they've been doing this evening. Whistle hit blown. O'Donnell escorted from the face-off dot. Zephyrs replace him. Face-off win by Northfield. Schmidt will look to carry it back out. Schmidt long in the stands here at St. Croix Valley Rec Center. And a face-off at neutral ice. Becomes a face-off in the defensive zone. They're circling, is the officiating crew today. Where will the face-off be? Waiting for the puck. And it'll go into the defensive zone of the Northfield Raiders for a face-off with 6:18 left to go. Again, Mahtomedi upcoming schedule after today. Their next 4 games will all be on the road at Delano, at Tartan, Holy Angels, and South St. Paul. The upcoming schedule for the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. Becker brings it behind. Pumper's able to get to it there for Northfield. Pumper looks to start the breakout for Benjamin. Left wing look for Charlie Becker. This one's run back behind. Benjamin provides a check to try to separate player from puck. And now Mahtomedi will carry it back the other way. Brock Gutterman into the zone. Got a one man, but couldn't get around the second. Cody Loiter will send it towards goal. Took an awkward bounce. Gavin Winter didn't hold on to it the way he wanted to. Levi Schmidt taking back over. Henry Samper into the attacking zone goes Brock Gutterman. This one's knocked into the corner. Good stick lift. Denies the opportunity for Braden First. This comes back here for Benjamin to start the breakout for Northfield. Philip Benjamin had it into the attacking zone. Was taken back over, though, by Brock Gutterman for Mahtomedi. Gutterman was in on side, turned the puck over. He'll be the first to get to it, though, in the corner. For Braden First, back to the blue line. Rogaszewski waited for something and instead chose to make the smart decision and just put it down in low. Peters looks to start the breakout. Peters will go back to the far side. Pass was behind Riley, but he's able to gather it. He'll send it towards goal. On the break, shot through off the post on the right side, no goal! St. Croix Valley Rec Center thinks goal, but I say no. On a first look, a live look, it did not look like the puck was in the back of the net. Let's see on a second. I would agree, no goal. The officials converse, they agree. And the face-off will be to the right of Gavin Winter. And now Jeff Poschel getting an explanation from the official as well. But the entire crowd here at St. Croix Valley Rec Center thought goal. We'll get another look at it, second chance we get. O'Donnell Takes it back here. Now how Loom will that large in the last 5 minutes of this game. Whiteman taken by Peters. Peters into the zone. Got a shot from a sharp angle in and out of the glove of Chezik. Taken back over now by Mahtomedi. Trevor Rogaszewski goes further ahead. Devin O'Donnell into the zone. O'Donnell, one toe drag around another. Put a pass back out in front. Riley first to it for Northfield. And the puck almost held into the zone. Now 3-on-1 for the Raiders into the attacking zone. Whiteman shot into the glove of the goaltender Chezik. And now these two teams will exchange pleasantries in the defensive zone. Odd man rushes tonight for Northfield. Oftentimes they've chosen to hold on to the puck instead of shoot. That time the right decision by Whiteman to shoot. But the goaltender Chezik was ready. Face off to the right of Jackson Chezik. 4:18 to go in regulation time. Whistle. And Blake Loida will be excused from the dot. Stewart on the face-off for Northfield. This time it'll be Gagnelius who will join him there. Imagine in terms of game management, an official not likely to call a penalty, barring the obvious here in a one-goal game in the last 4 minutes of game time. Pumper ahead for Stewart. Stewart with Studacek had possession. Kennelly regathers at center and will dump it towards the Mahtomedi goal and Jackson Chezik. Zach Zins knocked off the stick of Wade Gilbertson as Northfield will attempt to clear the zone. Dunbar for the Zephyrs, back behind. It's gathered by Zins as he'll start the breakout. Off the glass. Up ahead for Pumper, shot on. And the last time Gavin Winter touched the puck, perhaps a moment of controversy. And now a face-off in the zone. Here it is again from a little bit closer of an angle. The backhand by Zephyrs. And let's see. Where does it touch? Oh, that is a goal. It's tough to tell without the top down. But he can definitely see where the puck is inside of the red bar. As this one goes into the glass here. But you can definitely see where the puck is inside of the bar, maybe inside of the net. But without that top down, that's so tough. One more time here by Zephyrs. And you can see right there, off the post, oh, so close. So close indeed, but for the time being, no goal. Barring the top down, that may be the only call we get. Samper gathers, sends it on goal towards Gavin Winter. Riley picks it up. It's regathered by Levi Schmidt for Northfield. And Bridger Riley gathers here. This one back down the length of the ice. Race for it is on. And a spin move was thrown on for why? Whistle will blow. And a little bit of an awkward entry into the zone. There was a player, Samper, on the screen there, as Charlie Becker had to do a little bit of an acrobatic spin move to try to get out of the way and stay onside. With a good look chance there, but either way, a face-off back in Northfield's defensive zone. 3:02 to go here in regulation time. Face-off to the left of Winter. Second chance is on, and a save made by Winter. He holds on for the face-off. Vinny Redpath looking for a second tonight. That's a great face-off play by Mahtomedi. Win the face-off, as O'Donnell did. Redpath goes right to the net to follow it there. Well-designed face-off play by the Zephyrs. Zephyrs back. Rummel rolls it around. We'll go back to the near side here for Jacob Peters. Peters long down the length of the ice. The effort was made to try to get to it by Rogaszewski. But either way, it'll be icing and a face-off back in Northfield's end. 2:43 to go. And for Charlie Cloud, head coach of Northfield, his first year, thinking about at what point does Gavin Winter navigate towards the bench. 1 goal in the first period, 5 total after 2. Face-off won by Northfield. Pumper back into the Mahtomedi zone. Race for the puck is on and frozen by Chezik. And there'll be a face-off in Mahtomedi's defensive zone. You can think about pulling Winter now. Problem is, that's a difficult conversation to have. Face-off to the left of Chezik. Stewart tied up his man. Peters had first stick on it. Brummel for the Zephyrs outmuscles his man. Spun around to the near side for Rogaszewski. Threw back as far as center. Icing is waved off of a redirection. Ashton Pumper will have to go back to get to this and lost his stick in the Zamboni doors. Pumper uses the body well to try to keep play alive for Northfield. That stick is lodged in between the crack of the Zamboni doors. Back into the corner it goes here in the Mahtomedi defensive end. Kennelly gathers, walks to the slot, fired a shot through, was looking for the redirection. Well, the first to it for Mahtomedi is Desalar. Riley with a shot to the opposite corner. Simon tried to chip it back in. Zephyrs will take it back out through the center. Desalar in, drops it for Gagnelius. Shot on, save made by Winter, and it comes back to the near side corner. Kennelly with a check. And he will have to withstand. Zinn's back into the zone, dumped in to the Northfield end. On the puck is First. First will tie up. The official has the stick now. And Northfield will look to try to clear it back out. Here's Kennelly. Tries to get around one man. Kennelly lost his edge. Was able to stay on his feet for Stafford. Into the corner, Stewart. Was able to locate it there, but put back out for Kennelly. The goalie is gone. Winter to the bench. Extra attacker is on. And this will be held on to by Chezik as the Raiders will play with 6-on-5 for the last minute and 6 of regulation time. And as a result, with a face-off in Mahtomedi's end, timeout will be taken by Northfield with 1 minute and 6 to go here in regulation time. Well, if you've enjoyed today's broadcast of high school boys hockey on Suburban Community Channels TV 19, there's a lot more coming up in the month of January and February in high school hockey here in Suburban Community Channels TV 19. It's a great schedule. Hopefully you'll be able to join us for some of it. After tonight, we'll be at girls basketball on Friday, a Suburban East Conference matchup. Stillwater takes on White Bear Lake at 7 p.m. Boys basketball next week as well at White Bear Lake. Roseville against the Bears. Girls basketball, Two Rivers and Mahtomedi in Metro East play Friday, January the 16th, the holiday weekend at 6:30 p.m. for a tip-off of that one. The Mahtomedi Zephyrs, as a nickname, have long been attributed to the Minnesota Zephyr train that ran in the Stillwater River Valley for a long time. That is one opinion of the name of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. The other is debated by local historians. Local history suggests that the car, the Lincoln Zephyr, became popular during its short lifetime, especially in the White Bear Lake area, and it was an alleged clever idea from students at the then Lincoln Town High to use the car and its name as a symbol for strength and speed. Lincoln Town High was renamed to represent the Mahtomedi area instead of just the location where the high school was located. The name Zephyr stuck, even though the Minnesota Zephyr never actually ran through the city of Mahtomedi. So what do you prefer? The train or the car? Whatever mode of transportation floats your fancy, I guess. Face off in the Mahtomedi zone. Was rung around back to the far side. Fought for ferociously. And still on those end boards. Inside a minute to go here in regulation time. Stewart is the closest to the puck for Northfield. He's trying to fight for it away with Peters. One back by Kennelly for Northfield, and back to the corner. This puck goes for Northfield. This one back down the length of the ice. Down it will go over the goal line. Icing will be called. 37.3 seconds left to go. Jeff Poschel sitting on a timeout. Will he choose to use it? Appears as though not for now. Face off to the right of Chezik. 37.3 to go and counting. Benjamin put behind for Kennelly, has Riley open on the dot. Pass too long for Riley. This goes back into the zone. Race for the puck is on. First to it for the Zephyrs is First. And First lost it to Pumper. Net is off. And with the net off, 18.7 to go. Officially, this will force a face-off in Northfield's end. The goalie Winter will have to return. And a large and pivotal face-off in the game in Northfield's end. Winter will have the face-off to his right. After the win by Riley, this one goes into the bleachers, and face-off will result back in Northfield's end. It's just 2.3 seconds elapsed off the clock. And this face-off will be to the right. After the tie-up, back to the puck and on. Stewart, Northfield running out of time. Taken back over to the corner. Loida will have it. He'll dump it back in. This goes into the Zephyr bench. Northfield arguing that the face-off should be in the Zephyr defensive zone. That may be the argument that works, as a face-off will be indeed to the right of the goaltender, Jackson Chezik, with 3.2 seconds left to go. The net will be empty again, and the options for Northfield here limited. But as we saw on the Sampere goal, that stands now as the game winner. Maybe just enough. Off the face-off, tied up by Mahtomedi. The horn will sound. And a top 10 tilt tonight in Stillwater does not disappoint. Northfield scores first, and the Zephyrs pull level and score last to hold on to a win 3-2 over the 7th-ranked Northfield Raiders here tonight. Back and forth they went all night long. Zephyrs the dominant 7 minutes to begin the game, and you sat there wondering at what point would the levee break. For Northfield, it never really did, but for Mahtomedi, the right shooters in the right moment at the right time, enough to put Mahtomedi over Northfield tonight, avenging their consolation tournament semifinal loss from a year ago and continuing Mahtomedi's winning ways in 2026. For the Zephyrs, they improved to 6-6-2 on the season. Jeff Poschel, the head coach, is happy. Charlie Cloud probably likes part of what he saw from his team tonight, but looking for more of that in the days to come for Northfield. Their next game will be on Thursday against Rochester Century. With the win tonight, Jackson Chezik picks up win number 10 on his career as a high school goaltender for Mahtomedi. He has continued to be the rock in goal for the Zephyrs this season, and certainly will look to be so as well in a now very competitive Section 4 in Class A. Took a while for the goals to get going, but the goaltenders ultimately were the stars of the show tonight. As Walker Sorm started the scoring for Northfield, Zephyrs would add one in the power play. Vinny Redpath picks up his 8th of the season. They tied it at the goal apiece early on in the second. Then a little miscue. Kennelly finds Stewart in front. That would be the last time that Northfield would find the back of the net. This great effort out of the corner. Sends on the far side wall, puts a puck out in front. And it's Tommy Bowe, 5'7", Tommy Bowe, driving to the net for his first varsity goal. Then the game winner, harmless from the blue line. Henry Sampere, the main Black Bear commit, fires it home for the game winner tonight, and, well, maybe a fourth. We'll let you be the judge on that. 3-2 the final. Mahtomedi, the Zephyrs, win tonight over the Northfield Raiders in a top 10 tilt here on Suburban Community Channel's TV 19. Final stats for tonight: shots on goal finished 32-26 in favor of the Zephyrs. Scoring chances, Northfield started to push more in that third period, but ultimately just a little too late. And the Zephyrs, when they get those leads in the third period, they know how to lock them down just about as well as anybody, and they did that tonight. Again, our camera operators today were Ben Brannon and Christian Stoltzman. In the truck today, David Schuyler, Dave Cast, and Joe Sigourney. One final time, 3-2 the final. Zephyrs win over Northfield tonight at St. Croix Valley Rec Center in Stillwater, Minnesota. For our entire SEC Sports broadcast crew, I'm Alex Wested. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk again soon here on Suburban Community Channel's TV 19.